Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan. It's a Wednesday and we're jumping into Satisfactory. Minecraft did indeed update this week, but we're still waiting on a few mods to get caught up to 1.20.3. Otherwise I would have jumped into Minecraft today, but we have some things to do in Satisfactory. We always have things to do in Satisfactory, so here we sit. MindTripMedia kicking off the stream with 100 bits. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. Always good to have you around, even if you are lurking in the background. As many of you do. I appreciate the casual lurk. I logged in last night just to kind of mess around with some ideas. You can't see them very well in the dark, but I was thinking about how we might decorate these archways, and I think that looks kind of transformery. If we looked at something like this, the digital kind of like nature of things, and I was thinking that a lot of the belts have got lights on them. And so I'm trying to incorporate lights into the sides of some of the things, you know, just like we have lights along here. Although these are all white, and I think some of these I want to be purple, but then sometimes I think we can just go with straight up white lights. Like there's no reason why these ones have to be purple. I also moved a couple of belts around and played around with the idea of lighting them up this way. Now it doesn't look all that fancy without the world lighting on, but it does look pretty cool. Right? The belt lights actually bounce off the wall, and then these subtly light up what's in front of them. So it's not like super bright, but we do get a little bit of bounce light happening. So we'll have to consider that as we design things. Now that we know that it happens, we can kind of plan for it. I think I actually might have to get closer to these for it to actually show up. Yeah, like you can, they sort of light things. I mean, if we maybe turn up the brightness on them. Yeah, like that absolutely lights up everything there. Although it does make the image or the color very different. Dan Cosmic, good to see everybody. Hope you're having a good week. So I obviously want to bring that and have those both happen in there, but in order to do that, I'm going to move the stairs. It's possible. It's just going to take a second to do it. And I wanted to let this kind of like percolate for a bit to see if this is actually what I wanted to do. And I think it is. But the other thing I need to figure out is what's happening next door. Because we're going to put in a factory floor here. And I need to know if I'm going to be using refineries or if I'm not going to be using refineries. We've got lots of room underneath for extra stuff, so that's good. But I feel like I need to sort out what's happening in here. And really what I need to do is figure out what's happening with turbo motors. And for that, I need to mess around with the manufacturer. I think I have one up here. This is all empty. Still doing stuff there. So motors eventually end up making turbo motors. And we only have the one recipe for these, I think. Yep. And the recipe on the website for Satisfactory. It's the wrong thing. So we go turbo motor. I did mess around with this a little bit before stream, but ultimately we've got the regular recipe The alternate recipe uses electromagnetic control rods, and I'm nowhere near being able to make those. So I don't know if that's a good alt. And ultimately, it ends up using more motors, but you get more turbo motors. And then this one uses pressure packaged gas and a conversion cube. So this is the only one I'm not sure of in terms of whether or not we should use that one. But going off of this one, if I wanted to make like, I don't know, 10 turbo motors per minute, then we have to mess around with some ratios, because I really don't like it when they do this, but they do like 0.75. So I don't know whether it's going to be better to overclock it to 2, because then we've got nice round numbers there, and that might be the easiest thing to do. Or whether I should underclock it to do like 1.5 or something, because then it also has better numbers. Round numbers for better math, for sure. So I'm either underclocking it or overclocking it, but I think I roughly want to make 10. I don't think I want to make 10, like 15 per minute. I think I want to make 10 per minute. But 1.5 and 10 don't play nice together. I mean, we could do maybe 1.25. But that starts to get messy here, right? So if I did 1.5 per minute, if I did 10 of these, then all of this gets multiplied by 10. That's 60, 30, 60, and 360. I mean, that's not terrible. But then I said the other way was to go up to 2 per minute. And so that goes 8, 4, 8, and 48. We could run both numbers and see. And the thing about this is that we can then make as many machines as we want. We could do 4 machines and make 8 per minute. We could do 5 machines and do 10 per minute. So yeah, I feel like it's either, this is more likely the outcome. So 2, 8, 4, 8, and 48 versus 1.5, 6, 3, 6, and 36. I mean, the ratio of what you need to what you get doesn't change. It's just a matter of like how many more of these things we're going to need. Because here's the thing. Motors are going into turbo motors, but they also go into the cooling system. At least with the alternate recipe that we're going to be using. So that potentially is something we have to consider. Because it eliminates water. It doesn't have to be that way, but it can be that way. So let's just say that that is, let's go for broke and see what 2 is going to give us. So 8, 4, 8, and 48 per minute. Right, so let's write this in here. 8, 4, 8, and 48. And that's rubber. What was the other thing? Cooling radio motor. So cooling system, radio control unit, motors, and then rubber. And then if we do 10 machines, and that gives us the numbers we need going in. And then I can change that number and get different outputs. And that's going to make us 2 turbo motors. Right, so if we change this to 5, we get 10, 40, 20, 40, and 240. That's not too bad. I think we can probably do 10 machines and go for 20 turbo motors. And so cooling systems becomes 80 per minute. And motors is 80. And motors are only really used in turbo motors and modular engines, and then the cooling device alt. So if I wanted to do the cooling device alt, I just have to look up the number of motors that needs. So again, they're wonky numbers. 3.75. And that gets made in a blender. We're so far away from making those anyway. Does this math mean you'll need more machines? And if so, do you have room for them? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is how many motors I need to make. Because that's the next step, is like figuring out how many motors we need to make. That determines how many rotors and stators we need to make. And we've got we have this kind of like all leading into, we've got the source material. I just need to know how much to allocate to rotors and stators to make motors. And I need to know how many motors we are going to make down the line. I mean, I could just kind of overclock it and just, you know, go for broke and try to make more. Eclipse Arm, hello, welcome in. But yeah, so to answer your question, Cosmic, I'm just trying to figure out how many motors we need. So 80 cooling systems. Um, 3.75. Do I have a blender? If I have a blender, I can probably make that easily. I can just make a blender real quick, I think. So if we're making 4 per minute and we need 80 per minute, then that ends up being really good too. What are these used in later down the line? Just turbo motors. So we'll need to make more than the 80. So any extra we have on top of 80 would be good. So if we're making 4 per minute per machine, then I'd need 20 blenders, right? Yeah. So that's 40 motors. Plus I'd want to make a little bit of extra. So let's say I want to make 110 cooling systems. So an extra 30. So so maybe we should go for 3 per minute. And that's 1.5. Well, I can still, I mean, 110 can still be divided in half. Right? 55. So 55 machines, or 56 machines with 2 doing slightly less. So 110 of these. So 55 machines. No. Wouldn't be 55 machines. It would be 110 divided by 4, right? Making for 27, so 28 machines. And that means that we'd have 56 motors per minute. So then that means we'd have 56 on top of the 80. What, 136? So like 140 motors per minute. And that goes into 28. So that's not bad. The number here looks like it's going to be 140. And so it's 280 for rotors and stators. And what does that mean for assemblers? They're always made in assemblers, aren't they? Yeah. So 280 divided by 5. 56 assemblers. So that's 112 assemblers. Yeah, I don't have space for that there. It just it goes out like a spider web. Right? So to show you the space that we're working with. I mean, I can make floors and we can go up. But we have a specific space. Soul Rift, hello. It's going well, thank you. We're just doing a little bit of number crunching right at the start here. So 112 assemblers overall, and they are decently sized. They take up like one space and a bit. I think it's 2 assemblers for every 3 tiles for the sake of argument. Yep. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we can only fit 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We can fit 20 depth-wise. Well, we can fit a little bit more than that if I wanted to expand the wall, which I could. Plus, I mean, this is right up against the wall here, which is not where I would want to start them. I would want to have a little bit of a buffer and kind of design the room. So it might be better to do them because it's 2 bays of 14 is how we'd have to do it, right? That's just for motors. Then we'd have to do 56 assemblers doing stators and rotors. And that would have to be probably lower. So I may need to go downstairs with this. I might have to take the idea of I was holding out on doing some refineries here. Now, I will say we've got all this space up here too, like all this, like this wall doesn't necessarily have to be here. We can kind of take this space and just kind of push it through. Originally this was going to be the end of the building, but that is no longer the case. Just like over here we're going straight through on either side, so we can open this up. Eclipserm, thanks for getting me hooked on this game. Bought it this week and I can't stop playing. Hey, that's awesome. Welcome in. Round numbers. Let's start using imaginary numbers instead. Oh man, imaginary numbers and anything that would change periodically would be terrible. I need constants. Constants in this game, for sure. Hey, there's Obu. How's it going? Thanks for the lurk. Well, I'm not worried about the 56. It's finding a way to do it in an attractive way, I think, is the challenge. That therein lies the issue. And we do have room to do any kind of underfloor that we want, so we get lots of space down here. We could even just like put a bunch of things that we don't want to do down, like little extras. Like if it was like 10 and we needed to squeeze in 4, we could just throw them down here, right? And just put them in the basement doing things. It would be nice to keep everything straight and tidy. I'd say the only thing that's definitely going to stay is I want to make sure that this has enough breathing room. So I feel like we're going to at least have a wall there, which is, I think, this space here. Yeah. So we have from there all the way over to there, which is pretty good. And I also want to try to use some of this space for things like a stairwell, if we need to. So that could be good too. That could be worth planning. And that way when we come in through this door, it'll be kind of like straight down, looking at the factory. At least from a height. Put them in the basement like the bad kids? Yeah, I'll teach you for not making enough motors. Nice. Okay, well, now that we've got a rough idea how much we have to do, I think the plan should be to work out if we need these, because we've got Caterium coming in, and for this I may need to go refresh my memory on some stuff. Let's go for a little bit of a slight tour up the hillside. I don't know if I want to take a train or a car. Maybe we'll take the buggy just for fun. No, Soul Rift. I don't have drones yet. That's something that I'm going to have to consider. But I need to get... I haven't done any gas, so I haven't gotten any batteries. Aluminum is done. Aluminum is just finished now for this particular factory, so that's good. Yeah, we'll just use the buggy. Gotta make sure it's gonna have gas in it first, but almost overshot. think it's here. Yeah, there it is there. Hopefully we've got fuel. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. I turned this down too, so it's not as loud. It's really quiet for me. It means you probably can't hear it at all. Oh, it doesn't turn very well. They've changed the physics on all the vehicles. And I've deleted these rocks, but the gas is still here. Really disappointing. I blew them up, and then the gas graphic still lingers. I guess I could turn up this buggy a little bit, couldn't I? So the other thing I have to think about is where I'm bringing in Caterium and where I'm not manufacturing it, but where I'm refining it. So we're making quick wire here, and that's not going to continue. This little setup here was temporary, and it is not a good idea to make quick wire and then bring it places. What you want to do is you want to make the ingots and then bring the ingots places, or just bring the raw Caterium in. But we have the other Caterium. Can't remember what it's called. Recipe. We've got the pure Caterium recipe. But all the Caterium right now is coming in across here, so it's being smelted on this like bridge thing that I built a long time ago. And this doesn't have to stay. But that's the Caterium there. And if memory serves, it's like a... Yeah, it reduces it down to 15. So that might be worth not refining it in a refinery and keeping it in a smelter. Because it means a lot less to transport. So what I need to do then is bring the Caterium from the other mines and get that down to the train station as well. No, the gas there does not hurt me, no. Oh, physics. Yay, physics. So our other Caterium mines are up the hill here, and they're all being smelted on site and then taken away by truck, although I think the truck is currently not running because we're not making anything with them. Yeah, there's the tractor there. Yeah, same thing here. That's normal overclocked, normal overclocked. And then this is a pure. Yeah. But it's not maxed out. I'm not sure where the other Caterium is. There's not a lot of it on the map. I think there's one down here. Yeah. So there's that too. And that would be easy enough to refine with refineries because of all the water nearby. That maybe be a good one to refine into ingots and then bring into the factory with another train. Because what I was thinking about doing was bringing all the refinery, all the Caterium in here and refining it, but it's hard to do depending on how many trains and cars and stuff you need. And there's no other Caterium over here that I'm aware of. Oh, autosave. Unintentional flips to the joy and glee of the chat room. All right. I guess I need to look at a refinery and see what those numbers are like. Sure. These are all like very early stage buildings. Where can I build a refinery? I guess I can just go back to the other spot. It's hard when you don't want to run over the grass and foliage. Like running over it with the car, it disappears, but it's unintentional. I don't think I need anything from the other base, and if I do, I guess I can always come back. I think I've got space out back here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh yeah. All right, I'll just pop you up here for now. So it was 45 to 15. And this is 24 to 12. So you get more Caterium, but it takes a lot more power and it needs water. And still better to do that outside the base. So yeah, I think the lessons I've learned from making this giant Devastator factory is that some materials are better to refine outside of your major factories and bring them in as different parts. And I would say Caterium is one of those things where we don't want to bring in the raw Caterium. Just bad news bears. Although I saw a box of shame. Oh, it's all concrete. Wow. Let's I've got a funny feeling these are full. Not quite. I'll take those. Whenever I see these lying around, I just want to get rid of them. They're not intentional. Here we go. Something doesn't seem to be adding up here. Oh, you know what it was? That box was so old that they were the old 100 stacks instead of 500 stacks. That's how long that's been there. Wow. I feel like I've betrayed myself. Yeah, the turning ratio on this is not what it used to be. I think that's why I wiped out here. Well, plus there's a giant tree in the way. Hold on, let's make some proper sound effects here. Audio equipment. Effects. Nope. I guess it's under factory? Ah, Explorer volume. The Explorer volume's at 100%? What am I missing? Is the Explorer just naturally that quiet? That doesn't make any sense. It used to sound like a race car. Anybody know if that's bugged? Because that's the Explorer volume. I've got it at 100%. Maybe they turned it down? I don't know. Do you get out of your own way to avoid clipping? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, drone, truck, tractor, and Explorer. This is the Explorer. I keep on calling it a buggy, but it's the Explorer. They don't bounce around on foundations anymore, which is great. That was one of the reasons I never used them. Obviously, all of my foliage has grown back up. Yeah, this used to be able to make a lot tighter turns. I have to remember that. Oop, missed. Alright, so that's one question answered. I do not do any Caterium refining in the base. Unless the resources are really nearby. Oh, wait a minute. I say that. There's Caterium right there. Shoot. What is that? That's a pure Caterium ingot. That's totally worth refining. Nuggets. Maybe I do need that bottom floor. Well, I guess it depends on how many refineries we actually need. 600 per minute. Well, half of that, right? So it'll be producing 300 ingots. That's pretty good. Do I go out of my way to avoid clipping like belts? Yes, I do try to avoid that when I can. There are still mistakes that have been made and that I need to fix, but generally, for example, I'll show you one. We're coming up on one right here. I moved and redesigned the front door of this building after I had already temporarily brought out all of our aluminum. So this is clipping, and that's not what I want to do with this. These are going to get moved, I think, to look like this, right? We're just going to mirror that right on the other side. So this will get moved in here, this will get moved over, and then this will be a tighter kind of mirror of what's going on this side. So what I normally do in terms of design, I'll show you upstairs. This is what I like to do. This is the kind of final look I like, is this kind of a thing. Right? Like everything is really tidy. Even the stuff underneath the floor is tidy. Right? All of that. I keep it pretty tight. Okay, so let's go down to those refineries and see how many we would need to handle 600 Caterium. Because I think the way that we've got it now, and to avoid myself redoing all the old work, is like refine it the way that we've got it elsewhere, but then if we have an opportunity here to use the pure Caterium recipe, so 224 per minute. So it's just 600 divided by 24, right? 25 refineries. Unless I overclock them. I don't know if I could overclock all of them. I could overclock. I could get 30. We need 30. So each one would only need one of these. What if I did 20? I'd need another shard. 36 per minute. $16. 15 refineries. That's compact. That means going up to another means 20. And if that's the case, I might as well go to 30 or 24. Might as well use the full capacity of the shard, right? So 24 per minute. That's 25 refineries. No, that's the wrong number. What am I looking at? 48 at 24. Backwards. $12.5. So 12. So if we go to 50, that's just outside of the... Yeah. So it'd probably be simpler to do 20. Yeah. So we're definitely going to at least need space for refineries down here. And the good news is, like, I already know what refineries look like when they're lined up, so we can sort of plan for that. There's room for 3 here. This is just temporary. That doesn't have to be there. But we could also turn them and face them the other way. What did I say? 15 was a magic number. $40. So if we had... It would need 40 per minute at this level, and then would need at least 15. And we can mess around with this. This doesn't have to be a number that's permanent. But if that's 40, and then we would need 15 machines, and I could turn this sideways, and we could fit 15. I want to say we could fit 15 lengthwise here. Let's just test that theory. Let's go with probably that way. 1, 2, 3 takes up 4 places. So I need at least 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oof. With a little bit of room. So yeah, I mean, it's doable. We could fit 15 in there. If I squeeze them over here farther. And actually, if we just designate this whole space for Caterium, and then anything up here we could use for assemblers, and then the same thing across here. I may want to make this floor a little bit higher. I came down for some reason. I don't know why this is down lower, but I think I would prefer I obviously made some sort of hint to future Joel to say, look, this should be a lot higher. Because that way there's some room over this in terms of the smokestack, ceiling design, all that kind of stuff. And then that still gives us plenty of room here. It's almost too much room for this floor here. We could even have these higher up. We could raise these up to that level. And that way we would have more space down here. I don't remember what's underneath here. I'm sure it's some sort of earth rock thing. Yeah. Didn't do that very efficiently, did I? Can probably get some of this back. So that gives us lots of room for any logistics underneath. Okay. Have a subfloor for the floor above. There will be a subfloor for the floor above, but I'm not redoing this stuff. This is all stuff that I've put together, and I'm trying to move forward without going back and changing everything. So this stuff will stay the way that it is. We'll decorate it to make it look as nice as we can. But going forward, yes. Here what we would do is we would have like a floor between floors. If we wanted to, we don't have to. It depends on what the design is like for the assemblers. Assemblers are not my favorite. They're not my favorite thing to design. The way that I did it over here with the aluminum was I just kind of have everything buried. Like there's output happening in there. And then the inputs are happening underneath the floor. So like the inputs are coming up into the machines, and then their output is looping around and then coming back. And that's the output there. So there's ways to do it without having to make all the spiderweb stuff happen outside of it. And we really only need whatever this is. 1, 2, 2.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4.5 total. Four minus the roof. Yeah. I think that's what I've got here. 2, 3. Yep, 4 minus the roof. So we could still do some design stuff. I mean, it could be tighter if we wanted it to be. I think if I actually go up by another 4 meters. Does that clip? Wouldn't be any room for lights if we wanted to add lights, so it's a little bit touchy there. So I might not go that high. But there's also no reason to. I'd rather come in and have the machines be lower. And that way we could probably fit an entire section of machines down here. So some of the tighter machines could be down here. Or maybe just the belt work, that kind of stuff. Jay, Chris, hello. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day so far. Three doesn't clip? Yeah. I just find that I need to give myself more room more often, because I find that I end up needing to do that for decor reasons. Okay, so we know that we can't start anything over there. Most of this is going to happen on this space, because this space is going to be very open and very easy to design and deal with and stuff. And so I don't know if I'm just going to use that same blueprint. It feels kind of boring. So I think what we'll do is we'll move some stuff over here and get this sorted so it looks nice. I kind of like to mix up the combination of like planning and must be almost time to take a break. Planning and building. I try to do a little bit of both on each stream. So what we should do here is remove this guy. I'll start to plan how this is going to look. Does that need to be green? That does. That gets covered up. Okay. So this will just be an out belt. That'll go in there. Open that up for now. We'll need another floor hole there. And we'll have to send these. What's happening there? These are already got their outs, so we really just have to reattach some things. And what am I moving? I'm moving sheets. Where's all-clad sheets? Somewhere. There. So this is them here? Yes. Right, so that's going to go from there. It's going to come over from here. And so we'll just bend that around. Well, it'll probably come from this one, now that I think about it. Then we'll have to move this over to there. That'll be pretty easy to do. Right, so that one, this will just have to turn around. That's fine. Okay, that's not hard. Soul Rift, have a fantastic rest of the day. Thanks very much for popping by. Good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you again. If you're still here, Soul Rift, if you want to join the Patreon or look at the Discord, a Prime sub, Tier 1 sub, or Patreon, there's a lot of people on my Discord that play Satisfactory and share ideas and things. And I'm going to be sharing my blueprints as well. That's one thing on my to-do list today I just did not get to. So then this is going to have to change. This, oh, this whole thing is going to have to move. I thought this was going to have to be, I guess I'll have to make this go this way. So some of this stuff is going to have to move too. Yeah. So I'll move all this afterwards. That looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Right, I think I'd rather that. I'd rather have a solid black looking thing there than the metal. I think I prefer that to this. Not the end of the world. Thanks, Cosmic. Yeah, I'll take a break when it's I'll take a break when it's dark. All right, so this is going to be 4. Are they all 4? Mark 4, Mark 4, Mark. Yes. Okay. The only thing about this that sucks is that you can't see as much. Should be changing my build color as well. Speaking with Cosmic earlier about bugs and stuff in the game, and like little things like the escape button not working the way that you want it to is really frustrating. Alright, so this to get lined up with this one. I wish we didn't have to put this way. But it seems to be the only way to actually make it work. Probably should have waited until after the break to do that. Oh well. So this is this. And that no longer exists. And we have to take this. Put it there. So that's hooked up to there. So really what has to happen is, for now, I'm just going to do this. And then I'll fix it after I get back from the break. I just want to keep them flowing. Remove that. Remove that. And that should come up there, and can't tell. Yes. Okay, cool. So we'll fix the order of where things are coming from after the break. But I normally take a break about once an hour, folks. If you happen to be new, gives me a chance to avoid the nighttime, but also refresh things like coffee and water and all that stuff. And if you're enjoying your afternoon, if you're enjoying the lurk, if you're working, I appreciate you being here. Maybe let a coworker know that you can lurk together. And I'll be right back. All right. Right on time. There's so many aesthetic things I want to change about the way that everything is looking. I obviously know that it's a work in progress, but there's some things like train tracks that I know are not going to move. I'd really like to sort out that roundabout. There's a few things like that that I think are going to be worth updating. I also don't know what's happening with these roads. Right, so this one is staying exactly where it is. It's just that it's needing to be brought down here first. So this will be a quick switch. I guess we'll do the inside first with the help of a hover pack. Then we just go outside and hook it back up. Good. Okay, so that's that done. And then the other one, we have to hook up just in a slightly different way, and this should be pretty easy. Try to do this with as little change as we can. That might be okay. We'll see. Will you go in there nice and straight? You're going to be dumb. Beautiful. There we go. And then that goes there. And then we just switch this to where it should be, which is there. And that should be the casings moved over. Those are flowing, and then we should have two casings, one there and one there. And it looks like everything is flowing the way that we want. So now it's just a matter of moving all this stuff. So I'll get rid of that. And then we'll do a belt from there to there. So this is, thankfully this is not going anywhere specific. It's just kind of getting sent to garbage. So the fact that this has got some old material on it is not the end of the world. What we'll do is, we've got some clipping. Somebody was asking before about clipping. I'm okay with it sometimes. Sometimes you can't avoid it unless you've built just super high up above everything, and I don't know how much fun that is. Like, it's just, there's just a few things that I just don't want to have to go back and change about this particular base, but I think that's part of the nature of playing a game that's in development, right? All right, so thankfully we've got more coming out on the belt is capable of holding more than we need, so that's good. So I need a third. This needs to go. This needs a friend. So now it's just a matter of getting this to go into there, and that's going to be really straightforward, I think. We'll just probably take it right from there. 2, 3, 4. So that should line up. Don't need that little guy. Do they all have those? No. Alright, so that'll go into there. That'll go across, down, then out. And it is not connected here. And that goes down. And that connects to that. I don't have to move anything on the main bus. I just have to connect things underneath. That's all. Okay. So it's just this one little switch here that will matter. And that'll be pretty straightforward. Okay. I'm just trying to do this as, quickly as possible. So that we don't have any backlog. Good. Those are all going out. I got stuck because I need to hook this up. It always helps to lay down the entire output situation before you do the final cut, because then your downtime is so minimum. Good. Okay. Happy with that. Not the final wall design, but that's okay. I'm going to have to change the way that this looks. Put that there. Something stopped working. All right, so that goes like that. And then put this back. And now this is nice and symmetrical and looking sharp. Very cool. And did I put anything underneath that? Yeah, that's asphalt. Still not sure what to do about like this area or how it's going to be designed. I put in the steel foundations, but they're not cheap. Everything is on stilts, yeah. I do like the idea of that kind of energon powered rail system. I think that's a fun idea. All right, so I think now that's that happening there. I feel like maybe this could be closed off somehow. I guess a wall is the only way to do that. Then that sticks up there, and that feels really dumb. And we don't have half. I guess I could do like a small 1 meter wall. I know sometimes the way that these pieces line up doesn't make any sense to me. Like these connect nicely, but then they're not meant, they don't connect to anything else nicely, which is frustrating. And they don't line up the railings. Like why wouldn't you line up the railing to that? You know, just stuff like that is odd choices. And now I have to adjust this. I mean, it's off anyway, so it's not a huge deal. So we'll just move this over, I guess, to here for now. That makes sense. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Hold on. I had this hooked up wrong anyway. That's not good. This should be its own line. And then this should be its own thing. I want this B line to go into here and there only. And then the A line needs to be here. And that can continue on. And then this is aluminum production. We'll call it 2. And now let's just have to make sure. I shouldn't have built this now. I should have waited till after I was done. Yeah, I hooked that up wrong. I'm glad I caught it. I'm glad I redesigned it, because I would have tried to turn off just this factory and I would have turned off both, which would have been bad. Although maybe that's what I should do. So there's the redundancy attached. And so here's our main power coming in. That goes to there. That goes to there. And then this should go straight to here. That's the main power. Goes to main power. Finally trails at refinement. So then this connects to that. And then I can unhook this with no interruption in power. And then this doesn't need to exist. So we still have a wire coming out of the stairs. So I'm going to have to come up with a better way to do it, but at least the setup is right. Main power, offshoot to aluminum production, which we can now change the name of. And then put that there. So offshoot loops behind, powers the thing, continues on to power refinement, and that goes out this way to this room. Okay. Straight as a pretzel. Not my favorite looking, so we may have to come up with something better. This is where I think it might be better here to have one of these half foundations. It gives us a nice wall there to look at. Feels more contained. And really, I mean, I guess I could just do... I could do a half one here with floor holes in it. That could work too. But then... I guess... Well, that would bring the top up. Then I don't have to worry about a wall. I think that's probably the best idea. So we'll grab one of these guys. Now I think I can do this and just have it look like they go through. I could be wrong. Yeah, that works. And that way I don't have to redo this. And I guess I could still do that, even though it looks kind of weird. But I like that better than what we had before. I was watching your most recent VOD yesterday and today, and I really like the work that you've done with the lights. I think the red lights you're working with? Oh yeah, the ones over here. Yeah. Oh, I must have deleted something here. All right, I was messing around with this area. But yeah, the red lights over here are fun. The idea was to make it look like, you know, going up somewhere where they're being melted, right? Something hot. Yeah, I added this because I wanted to break this up a bit. And in the process, again, we don't have half walls. So I made this outside and put a little bit of a light on it, but I don't know if I like it. I need to find something that I want to repeat, you know, in various different places. So... one of those quick decisions, but I like this better. I think these maybe need to be walls, like the shiny ones. If I just rebuild this stair, is it going to go in a better place? It's going to attach to the wall instead of the... Maybe I just built it in the wrong order. That could be the problem too. Nope. If I nudge it, then it doesn't touch. frustrating. I mean, it looks better without it. But it's underneath here. Yeah, I can't have anything poke through the wall there. Alright. Don't know what to do there. I don't know if there is anything we can really do. It's not so bad if it's black. Good enough for now. Okay, so that's moved, which means this is nice and sorted. Also, I had moved this out to be symmetrical so there was even space on both sides. So, get rid of that. That was meant to be a ½ meter. There we go. Alright, so that gets moved over like that. And then this is all pretty straightforward. It's just a steel beam or steel pillar. And then one of those. Beam connector. And then a sign. And now these don't really fit on these ones, but if you connect them here, you can go up 2, and they end up being right in the center. So really simple, but I think effective in terms of making it look kind of technical. And then this stuff, I think, was just my basic lights. Looks like it's just one down from the top. Maybe not. I probably used... Yeah, I probably used the blueprint. Thor of Asgard, hello. Did you build the entire facility myself? Yes. Nothing was pre-built. Nothing. It's about 1,000 hours into this particular save. Spread out over 3 years. I've taken breaks. Ebb and flow. Big Minecraft update. Tend to play Minecraft more often. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, I absolutely use the blueprint. I'll just copy this over. I like to try to mess around with these and get like a better light color. If I make that 3, does it get too bright? Yeah. Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think the thing you got to remember is that you can build in this game with a much larger range. Resources are infinite. You don't have to gather resources like you do in Minecraft, and you can do things like zooping. You know, like building 10 things at once. You know, so it speeds things up a little bit. There's other things that slow you down, like figuring out the logistics and all that kind of stuff. Also, my hands are... Why is the camera at my waist? Like I'm looking up at my face. That's really weird. That's messed up. Alright. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know about doing the side again because I'm not sure. This, I think, needs to stay there. Yeah, this is my staircase currently. I would like to be able to rip that back, but I don't want to lose... Like, I like the space. So we'd have to find a different place to put the stairs. Maybe in this position would be good. I mean, we don't need them. We've got other ways up and down. I'm just thinking in terms of the design of the front of this place. It would be nice to have an extra 8 meters. Yeah, if I could move the staircase, that would be nice. So what would it look like if I moved this over here? That would work there. Means I still have some space from the door. I just don't like it when the stairs are like right when you walk in. Like it's, I feel like it needs some room. I was hoping for this to be more of an electrical room, but it might have to be a lot tighter. And where does this put us? We'd have to change this. So it's not as convenient because we end up... Yeah, maybe I have to reverse that. Just the way that the floors work out, maybe I have to start it over here. That would come down there. This would be the floor. I'm probably going to do this a couple of times. Oh no, wait, that doesn't work. Because then you can't go down again. You'd think that the system for stairs would be a lot more straightforward. Do you do modded MC? Every now and again I play modded Minecraft, but I find that because of all the time investment that I have in the Citadel with a 6-year-old server and a 3+-year-old build in West Hill, that it ends up taking me away from other things. Like so I don't tend to do it. I mean, the Citadel has some mods on it, but it's more quality of life mods, not gameplay mods. Right? Right. So this whole thing could be contained in this space. And then now I know what the space is that I'm working with. And that would allow me to do decoration and stuff out there. No interest in a horror mod pack at all. I don't even like horror in general. So I guess I could put this here. Gets a little bit spinny. Not my favorite. I just find you need like 1.5 foundations to do this kind of stuff. And I can't put that there because then that blocks the door. So that runs us into the same problem. Stairs pointing the wrong way. Okay, let's try going this way. And it's not like these need to happen. It's just that it's nice when you can do it in a way that you don't always have to use hypertubes. So at least here we're going to be coming out the right way. Actually, is that right? Yeah, that was right. Sorry, I deleted that, and I should not have. So it's not quite as convenient coming through that door. Gonna zip around. But it's pretty convenient coming down here. You just go upstairs this way. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I really don't like when stuff like this... Well, I guess there's a space for this now, so that's not bad. At least it looks more intentional. Well, that's good. That means that we've got this space out here now to do a little bit of design that I wanted. I was also thinking that these might be... I think 2? I don't know if I want to do 1 or 2, so I'm going to try 2 on the other side and see if that looks better. I mean, they're simple to do. It's not hard. But if this was something that we ended up using a lot of, then I could see myself making a blueprint for them. Now, do we want them to be the same height or different heights? Probably different heights would be more interesting. I don't think I moved that color over. No, let's go copy that. Oh, wait a minute. That might not work. Do this first. Copy that. I don't know, maybe 3 is too many. Yeah, I think I like the single. It's a little bit more subtle. That's fine. Like I said, easy to do. And less work. So I'm okay with that. I know I've repeated myself a number of times, but the fact that you can lock holograms now is just game-changing. There. I think that's a pretty solid looking design. The only thing left to do is just this little beam trick here with the lights. And that requires some finicky placement. I want it to line up. I think it's that high. I think that's how I did it. They seem higher to me. They are. Okay. I should have done them both at the same time, because I remember this beam was really tricky to get placed in the right spot. That's what I did. Nope. I remember that too. Jumping on the belt. And is that a 3? Nope. Now, I don't know if it looks better with the beam or without. What I didn't like about the beam was the way that intersected there. So I didn't like that part in the corner. I thought that looked kind of dumb. And so I removed it and just kind of left it there. Yeah, I think that looks cleaner. I do like the look of the beam there, it's just that it doesn't connect to this very well. If it wasn't for this little notch that I like, then I would probably not care. Yeah. Cool. I feel like I needed to make the color the same though. Definitely more purple, but then if I increase the brightness, it goes right back to the same. So I'll do that. And this is where maybe these just need to be white, you know? I've got a couple images of Devastator, and because he's made of like normal construction things than like yellow lights and white headlights on the vehicles that he's made of. Or it's kind of natural. So it makes sense. You know, like maybe we change these to be yellow lights, you know? I mean, the orange and yellow versus purple, they're nice complementary colors. It's so weird how you have to have them so dull in order for them to read. Maybe a little bit too dull. Yeah, I think I like that better. I could make them pink. They're already mostly pink. This is my surprise face. I just whether or not it was a concept or something he personally made up in terms of what, Instagram? Quick question, what is the idea behind food driven human hashtag? Oh, that's just me. Yeah, that's I made it up. I made it up. I don't know if anybody else uses it, but I made it up. Hashtag food driven human on Instagram is just a lot of pictures for me. Although a lot of the times it's a story, so it doesn't tend to stay very long. All right, well that means that this gets freed up to be something more interesting as well. And again, like I'm trying to look at the different colors for Devastator. He doesn't have a lot of black on his body. It's mostly like the gray look. A little bit, I guess, depending on which model you look at. And I've got more images too. Like I need to come up with a couple of other boards. I've got this too. Oh, that one. I like the one at the top left quite a bit. So all this stuff is very temporary. But I like the idea of kind of like refining the edge of this. And I guess like this doesn't need to be this deep. But I felt early on that I had built too close. And so now giving myself 3 allows us to do this kind of stuff. And I really like seeing the stuff going in and out. And obviously our quartz is not doing anything right now. Let's just change these for now. I don't know whether to bring this straight across with like more windows and stuff. Oh, we can't do that. I think I like the color shift though. That lines up there. Maybe instead of a beam, we run walls. That shows up inside though. And then I could, because this is out on another layer by ½ meter, or not even, I guess it is a ½ meter, then we could layer in some of that patterning that we were working on before. So the shape language could be maintained, you know? Then it just becomes a question of like, what do you do when you get to a corner? Like, how can we handle that? I mean, in some cases, it might be just as simple as putting a pillar or something in here. Not the big fan of that. Plus, I've got a funny feeling that shows up inside. Can't really, maybe not. That was there already. And this looks a little bit silly in here. And we could fix that too. Thought I had that done. Maybe I didn't. Because then we could put these in like situations where it makes sense to have them. Use them as accents rather than just like this blanket. They're just fast to put up. That's why I have them so many places. How do you start building off the ground? As a general rule, I always seem to get terrain clipping in. You've got to be high. I wish the game gave us like a Y value, like a height value readout, but like I am up here, so like this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16 meters plus another. Probably another 4. So like already I'm 32 meters off the ground before even starting to build, right? Then I give myself another one. So that's, you know, 40 meters. And then you start going up from there. So like it depends on how big you want to build and where you're building. Places like the dune desert and the grassy fields are easier to do than the desert. Sorry, than the rocky desert. This is the rocky desert. The rocky desert has got a lot of this kind of stuff. So that limits where you can build. You can see stuff like this all along here. This is a real pain in the butt. Also, all of this is a problem. I've actually hidden this. I've completely engulfed this. And there's something else along here somewhere. I think it's that. Yeah, there's a rock down here that I've basically just had to build like a weird, like looks like a computer fan vent, because there's a rock in here that I just didn't like, so I just encased it. Yeah, there it is there. It is. I really wish we could do more to destroy nature and stuff, but yeah, I know what you mean. But I would say in my other save, if you look it up on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube, if you look for in Satisfactory 2022, if you look for the Metroplex save, I'm in the grassy fields and I built another big platform and I specifically measured up to be above everything in the main grassy fields plateau. So you could always measure from there. Because I went straight from starting at nothing again in that save through. So yeah, I don't know if I like the yellow lights. They're starting to grow on me, but I feel like they're a little distracting. I feel like that's a decent attempt. I don't like this though. I mean, who's to say that this doesn't come out again, right? Like maybe we need to put a stairwell in here, and maybe that's a perfect opportunity to put a nice big stairwell in there. I don't know. And then we don't have to worry about it. I guess I had built that farther out from the wall. Oh, that's the wrong color. Could probably use some purple up there too. But you can start to see how, you know, going from very plain, very flat, early factory designs, there's another good example of very flat, very boring, to then stuff like this becomes a lot cooler. And I learned that while I was working on that Metroplex save. That's totally what I was getting into there. But it looks like the sun's gone down again, so that means that it's time for me to take another break. We'll pop over to the break train. Cool. Once again, folks, just a short break. I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. Grab yourself a drink and let friends know that we're streaming. Be right back. Alright, let's see what else we can get done today. Thank you, Cosmic. Marcus, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Well, that doesn't look the greatest. It looks good on the other side. I like the window idea. Even though the reflection makes it look like there's a door in there. Yeah. Looks cool over here. Over here, something else could be done to maybe make it look more interesting and fun. But I'd say as far as the inside goes here, got a pretty solid handle on things. It's just this stuff I'm no longer really liking. I almost wonder if it's worth having, you know, like some depth across the bottom or a texture change, you know? Might make it feel more grounded. Okay, I'll mess around with that some other time. So aluminum is finished. We've got heavy modular frames. I guess it's just a matter of trying to figure out the Caterium as well. And I guess I need to know if I have a spot for Caterium along here. If I was Caterium, where would I be? I'd want it to be on the left somewhere. That's empty. That's probably bauxite. Unless I've completely cut that off. I think I have, actually. Let's investigate, because that would be a great opportunity to put 600 Caterium on that line right there. Given that there's nothing on it at all. Oh, I lied. Crap. So I didn't do... Oh, I balanced the coal here. I didn't balance the bauxite. That's right. Because the Caterium comes right into here. Like, I've got it all belted up. I just have to find a spot to put it. That spot is open. Third column, second from the top. Just copper down the bottom. There's nothing here. This just stops. Did I... Why does this stop? Oh, does it all go... It all goes inside. Right. Yeah, that's all being used up. Stuttering, though. That's not good. And this is... Oh, I'm using that being sent out that way. No, I still don't, I still have the top two. Now we need it to be about to here-ish. All right, well, let's make a rough plan. Caterium goes there. They'll come out and go this way. And if this is the production floor here, I guess I should switch this back to green just so I'm not constantly repainting things. It's just that menu that you can't use escape. Get out of. Where is the actual wall? Not that this needs to stay there, but that was close. It's a good guess. That gives us this much space. And this is mirroring what's happening over here. 3 on each side. But only 2 there. So we could move this to have the refinery. If these don't fit in this orientation, then we could totally move things around. But we need to do, what did I say, 15? I think the idea was to use power shards on them. Get them up to 20. That's 40 per minute. And then 600 divided by 40. 15, right. Hopefully I have enough power shards for that. I need 30 power shards. That's expensive. What does that do to the power consumption? 30. Doesn't tell you. Oh, I didn't know it sparked if you clicked on that. That's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of power shards. You're right, Cosmic. It's a lot of power shards. I mean, we'd be looking at, if we did half as many, right? We'd be 1836, but that doesn't go into 600 nicely. $16, $17. So 18. So I could use 15 shards, only do 30 per minute, but then I'd need 20 refineries instead of 15. I'm not even sure if 15 is going to fit here, so let's just see what's going to happen with that first. Can I even make 15 refineries? We are short on motors. Glad I checked. It is a lot of power shards, but it ends up doubling the Caterium coming out of that node that's right next to our factory. So worth it, I think. What am I carrying that I don't need? Crystals. Guess I don't need all the computers. It might be worth it. I don't know. Don't know. That would be the input there. I need some space on either side. So there's 5. And they go nice and neatly in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, we can't fit 15 in a row. Not without changing the outside of the factory. You forget how ginormous these things are. That's 10. So 15, and that's fine. I don't mind. We've got, if there's one spot to push the outside of the factory a little bit, make like a bump in it, like extend the floor out into this area, and this would be the place to do it. But if we did that, yeah, I'd like to have some space in between them rather than just jamming them up against each other like that. I think that's right. Oh, that's off. That's going to be a problem. This one the same thing? No. Why is that weird? Oh, I built it wrong. I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's one in between. So it would be 6 more out this way. 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 for room. That is where it gets to be a pain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this would be like a space, and then the new wall would actually be end up something like this. So we'd have to be careful that we'd have enough room on this side to avoid that, but I think we could. It's a little tight. So I would prefer it if we somehow gained 2 blocks in the other direction. I'd like to stop here to avoid that altogether. Should be nice. But that would fit the 15. And we have that room if we want to change the way that the front of this looks. Right, like we certainly have the space. 2 foundations, like that's just there, right? So it's possible. And the other way we could do it would be to have 2 rows. So we would do the math, and instead of doing 15, we'd probably do 16. And then underclock 1, I guess. 37.5. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that would definitely fit. We would just have to figure out how to... I mean, maybe what I need to do is forget about fitting in assemblers and just turn this into a nice solid refinery. 8 running up this side, 8 running up that side. Maybe we stagger them so they look interesting. You know, like maybe we put a refinery up here. And that way it could have like a cool dynamic. I don't know. That, or we move the whole thing up that high, and then we use the space here to run a bunch of belts and stuff underneath, which we would need to do anyway. So rather than worrying about sub and subfloors, well, we do have lots of room. But it would be nice not to have to do that, because I can always make this place higher. Higher is not a problem. It's more about not exceeding the footprint and running into like big rock things and having things look crowded. I ran into that issue over on this other side where I didn't want the factory to bump up too much against this cliff over here. Right? So it gets a little close, but then I gave myself a lot of room from over there, because like if you get too close to it, it just feels crowded, you know. So what would that actually look like if we had 15 refineries? I mean, it just doubles it, right? It turns 600 Caterium. No, it halves it. So it turns 600 Caterium into 300 Caterium. But then smelters would turn 600 into 200? Yeah. Plus we'd have to figure out how to get water down this far. And I do not have like a main bus for water. And maybe that's a good determining factor. I think I might have talked about this before. Bringing the Caterium in is easy. That's just a belt, right? The hard part is the liquid. We do have water pumps and a lake over that way. But we also have water coming in over here. And we hear the number of refineries would not matter. So 15, 20, 30, I don't care. We will absolutely be able to fit them. Right? So we could totally do, 600, it's 24, it's 25 refineries. I could fit 25 refineries here. No problem. No power shards needed. It would just be 5 rows of 5, just right there. I mean, we'd make it nice and choose a way to make it look good, right? But we have more than enough space. And then the water doesn't have nearly as far to go because the water's coming in back here. So I think Caterium at the back of the base might be better. Missed my turn off. At which point, we absolutely have all the room for the different assemblers and stuff that we'd need in this place. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I have to run some numbers and see exactly what we need and kind of go from there. And the last thing I need to do is figure out what's happening here, because this is going to move. And I'm starting to get to a point where like this is starting to fill up and I need this to be more permanent, so I'm not always redoing it every couple streams. So I really need to kind of work on what's being sent up here to be destroyed and all this stuff. So I think a lot of this is going to have to be designed. And what I've been doing, I've been slowly working my way from the front towards the back and try to have like a solid design feel for everything. So this floor isn't done, but the second floor, just kind of going through. Oh no, it's the third floor. Yeah, but like putting down the paint lines, putting in the borders, painting the machines, kind of running everything the way that we want, getting all this stuff in, Oh, that's wrong. I think that's right. Yeah. It's like having all that stuff echo as you go up. I really wish we could do something about these corners, but it's really finicky. And I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. Oh, autosave. Yeah, I think the power shard thing is what was really pushing me back, Cosmic, about the Caterium. So I think we're good there. Yeah, so as you can see, there's still lots to be done, and it's hard, I find, to balance my time between the design stuff. A lot of times I find to work through some of these design things, I kind of need to do it off stream, and then I can go through it on stream once it's done. Like once I've got an idea about what I want to do, like this thing here, right? And this whole idea here. Once I've got that, then repeating it is cool and easy to do on stream. But yeah, I feel like we need to come up with a couple of different design shapes and different things. And I've also been deleting a lot of stuff off stream, so I've actually got There's now nothing up here. This is all empty. And that's easy to do off stream. It's not the most entertaining to do while you're streaming. But yeah, I think I really want to take a crack at this and make it feel something new. He's got that great big chest piece. And honestly, I think one of the ones on this... Nope. This one. I really like the top middle. Got a little bit more vertical stuff going on in the middle of it. And actually the bottom left is neat too. It'd be neat to be able to try and put some detail into that. But I need to rough out the size of it first. And I think after that we can sort of figure out like where the storage room is going to go, because it's going to be in that rough area but higher, I think is what I'm thinking of. I do really love design context where you just where you put the pink lights later. You know you love pink as much as I do. Thanks. Yeah, I wish we could have more on that belt, but that's just the way things are going. We could always expand, I guess, if we end up making more aluminum, but like aluminum was such a pain. I can't see that happening. And actually, it might be worth balancing these somewhere else to free up that spot. I have started to make a map of the main bus because I think we're going to have to do that at some point. Yeah. All right. I think I've reached a point in the stream where I'm getting a little stuck and I need to take some time in between to run some numbers on a spreadsheet and be prepared to see what has to happen next time. It looks mighty cool and I have it mostly straight in my head, but I have to take a lot of notes. But I like the way that this is coming together, specifically this look. I think that's good. I'm on the fence about this. I feel like maybe there's too many windows. Maybe we need to remove that there. Maybe we just need to have like a couple of these purple lights up there, just like little dots, you know. That could be worth it. So anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap things up. I am going to see who is streaming. Might be able to pass you along to somebody else playing Satisfactory. I'm going to be recording later tonight, actually. I'm going to be hanging out with Steven ESC, who is a fellow server mate on the Citadel. They do stream on Twitch from time to time. And we're going to pass you back along to Total Eclipse because they rated us last time that we were streaming. So enjoy your time with Total. They are a fantastic streamer. Hopefully they're going to be streaming for a little while. It's a little bit later for them in the UK. But you can listen to a new episode of The Spawn Chunks that is out at thespawnchunks.com or wherever you get a podcast. That is a free podcast about Minecraft, and we'll be talking about the release of 1.20.3 next week. But this week we talked about storage issues and inventory issues. You can also listen to the Citadel Cafe at thecitadelcafe.com. After this episode gets out tonight, I should be able to edit it and post it tomorrow. That's the plan. And then I will be back again tomorrow for a scheduled Satisfactory stream on Thursday. Yeah, so we're doing more Satisfactory tomorrow. That's the plan. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Have a fantastic evening. Thanks all for the support. Cosmic, thanks for the moderation. As always, I appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.